Wow.
Oh boy.
Much
There we go. All right, cool.
professionalism.
Yay. Hi guys. Welcome. My name's Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer, and welcome to Pathfinder Curse of the Crimson Throne, our Monday adventure where you guys get to take on the role of the audience, and these guys get to take on the role of my lovely players as they go through the world of the Pathfinder universe in Korvosa during the height of some calamities and dangers and horrible things that seem to be gripping this city. Good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing?
Doing
And I'm
great.
Dandy.
Owen.
Excellent.
Oh, I'm so happy. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks now. Padraig and Quinn, aka Twiff and Ire, were on holiday. So welcome back, guys. I hope that you guys feel, at least that you had some time to for yourselves. That you guys got to, do the fun and cool things.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was very nice, very rejuvenating,
Nice.
and also not partly, but that's another story.
Oh yeah,
Anyway.
no, I wish there was a word, right? And I'm looking at you, Germany, because there's so many words that you guys come up with that are amazing. But I wish there was a word for that feeling when you go on a holiday straight after you've just had another holiday. Do you know what I mean? Like when you get there and you're just like, man, I need a holiday. Yeah. I wish there was a word for that. There isn't. Get on that.
But there should be.
There should be.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. So welcome back, guys. And of course, welcome to our newest player, because this is their first appearance on this table. Laura Bones. Hi, Laura. Laura?
Hi. Sorry, I lost my mute button.
No,
Hello.
that's okay. For those of you who don't know, Laura is one of our players from the Saturday Strange Aeons game, and Laura will be joining us here on Mondays. So I'm super keen to have you here. Are you excited?
Yes.
You excited for people to meet Agnes?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great. All right. So, again, to try and race through all of these, we're going to take a quick moment to, first of all, you missed last episode. That's okay, Odd Bandicoot. Do not worry, because we're starting a brand new book, brand new chapter today. The only thing you need to know is that everything from the last book was resolved, including, of course, the two women who were being accused of having murdered the king. The group managed to get them out of the city safely, and this is actually going to be taking place a few days after those events. So yeah, don't worry too much about it. All right. So first of all, let's give a quick shout out and thank you to our sponsors, Hero Forge, for the wonderful artworks you can see on screen. Guys, if you want to make some awesome, amazing, and very, very detailed minis that you can not only print yourself, have color printed towards you, or even use for the artworks online, go check out Hero Forge at heroforge.com, where you can start making your very own hero. Next up, of course, we'd like to thank Sirenscape for the beautiful soundscapes that make the game sound amazing, as well as these really cool sound effects, like a chainsaw, which is freaking awesome. I love the fact that I don't need a chainsaw, but I'm glad I have it. And of course, lastly, Fantasy Grounds for our VTT of choice that allows us to prep our games and have an awesome time throughout this adventure. So yay! All the cool stuff. And lastly, let's thank our biggest sponsor, you guys in the audience. Guys, without you, the Dead Aussie Gamer channel doesn't exist. Because we've had a bit of a hiatus, we have a bit of a drop in subs. So we are, for the next, till my subs pick up, we're doing a sub drive. Now, what is a sub drive? A sub drive is where we are trying to get as many people to subscribe to the Dead Aussie Gamer channel as possible. And we're offering rewards. In this particular instance, our reward for this game is going to be quite easy and quite simple. This adventure, called 7 Days to the Grave, is one that is going to challenge our heroes, let's say positivity, their health, their well-being, their vitality. That's the word I'm looking for. Their vitality. So, for the episodes of Curse of the Crimson Throne, for every 10 subs that we get, we are going to be giving the group a potion of remove disease. Going to be very, very useful, those. So every 10 subs is going to be a potion from the group. It is going to be provided, of course, by a wonderful donated character, which, of course, is Geez, what was his name? Oh my god, my brain. The drug guy. I've got it written down.
Jackagon.
Jackagon. Thank you.
Jackagon.
I kept thinking
yes,
Jack,
that
and I'm
one.
like, it's not Jack. Yeah, Jackagon. So it is going to be provided by the gnome Jackagon, and will be very helpful to our group as we continue. So there you go. If you want to donate to the channel, however, and keep me fed and in a house, then consider donating to the channel for a bunch of really cool rewards. For $5, you can grant the players, which all currently are locked and loaded with hero points, these little red markers. These hero points can be used to stave off death, provide an advantage on a particular roll, petition the GM for stuff that may not be in the rules, or, of course, be used to... Wait, what was the other thing? No, that was pretty much it. There was no other thing. Or I can use a jinx point for the opposite effect. I can use them to boost up my enemies, or potentially make mischief happen. Then, of course, we have our $10 plot twist, where I will draw 3 cards from a deck of plot twists. You will pick one of them, and that plot twist will come into being. And, of course, for $20, you can get the coveted Golden 20. You can see next to Padrick. The Golden 20 is used as quite simply a natural 20, because, why roll one when you can have one? And lastly, for $50, we have a boss buff, or a magic item, that will be provided to the group. Now, a boss buff will, of course, make a challenge more difficult, but they will provide a more powerful item than a magic item. So there is some benefit to that for my players as well. Lastly, we have our secret menu item. Now, the secret menu item is going to be something special. The secret menu item, for the time being, is going to be you getting a private session with me to sit down for an hour and create a character for the game that you have unlocked in the secret menu. So if you want a character in the world of the Curse of the Crimson Throne that I'm running for these people, consider throwing out the secret menu item, and yeah, we'll get to do that. I think that's pretty much it. Yes, excellent. All right, allow me to introduce to you our cast of amazing people, starting, of course, with none other than the delightful Twiff, playing the role of Padrick the Gunslinger. Good morning.
Good evening from my side of the planet. Padrick.
Well, super quick
Padrick.
question about Padrick, because we were. I mean, right now we're just going to kind of keep everything moving. But where is Padrick for 3 days worth of rest? What would Padrick be doing? Kind of, explore that.
Okay, so Padrick for 3 days of rest would he's recently acquired a whole slew of new alchemical formulas. So he may probably be tinkering with those, getting familiar with those, getting familiar with the capabilities of the new crafters eyepiece that he got as well. Also making sure that his gun is in tip-top shape, and reading is his
Beautiful.
activities.
I definitely imagine that you've spent some time in the city library as well. Just nice, quiet places to be able to read and chew over your notes, as well as making yourself a small little sort of workshop within Zalara's house to kind of do your work.
So having acquired a new alchemical lab, he would definitely spend some time setting that up, making sure that all his tools are in place, and probably in visiting the library, considering the run-in that we had with Gadrin Lamb's son, he may be boning up on ways to better counteract or deal with necromancy and constructs, since a lot of things he thought were undead were just kind of,
Robots.
spooky animated flesh.
Yeah, there you go. All right, good use of your time there. Next up, we have, of course, Holly, our kind and what's the word? Whimsical rogue fairy, and their happy pupper, Penny, played by our dear friend Malakisa. Hi, Mally.
Hello.
Hello. Tell us, what does Holly do for 3 days of rest?
Holly is the extroverted sort. So she would have gotten up relatively early, and wandered the city. And she would have done an interesting mix of like happy things. She would have gone to visit the orphans that they saved from Gadrian Lamb and let them play with Penny. And then she would have gone into the seedier parts of the city to check on the thieving contacts that she's made, see what's going on with everything in the underbelly of what's going on in the city. She would have tried to get some information on Rolf Lamb to see if she can figure out where he's hiding, and to see if she can find out what his plans are, and tried to get some information on that. And she would have been working all of her contacts and trying to get new contacts in the city for all of that. And then at the end of every single day, because, you know, the seedy part of the city is generally gross and dirty, would have taken very, very long baths and made sure to get very clean afterwards. And yeah.
All right. Just as a question, does Holly understand the concept of rest?
To a point.
Okay.
She understands he like she doesn't sleep very much and she runs on a lot of sugar. So she would have stopped at like food vendors all over the place and gotten like any kind of pastry, like festival type food, like the funnel cakes. I don't know if you have funnel cakes over there.
They're funnel cakes. Yeah.
Deep fried sugar.
I'd say you've also made friends with a gnomish apothecary who has created some sort of fizzy sugary beverage.
Yes.
It's basically like in my world, this guy is actually my version of like Birdie's every flavor beans kind of thing.
Beans. Yeah.
Except it's basically like little bottles of soda, like every flavor of soda you can imagine. Because he's learned the carbonation process and has made a drink for literally everything. The bottles are maybe about this big. They're not that big, but they're very tasty, very popular. And he is regardless of how long I've had this NPC, he's always saving money to actually get a brick and mortar shop.
Does he have orange skin? Is he an actual Oompa Loompa?
Is he an actual Oompa Loompa? He's got orange hair to commemorate the Oompa Loompa with a green stripe in it.
Nice.
I haven't made him in Hero
Holly-
Forge. I should make him in Hero Forge. See if I can make a card.
Yeah, Holly would be very good friends with him. And because she is so extroverted, she would not just stop and like buy the drink. She would like hang out and chat with him, and she would know that he's looking to buy a store, and she would offer advice. And, you know, well, if you're looking for a place, like, are you looking for a cheap place? Where are you looking to get your store? Like, what kind of rent? Do you need like a landlord, or do you need a real estate agent? Like, she would have long conversations with him, and she would stop regularly to get these.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, there you've probably made your way through a lot of different flavors, including the smell of cut grass, in a like again in a soft drink form. So when you drink it, it's not like it tastes like cut grass, but you just kind of like your sinuses just kind of fill up with that smell. You know, but it's still sweet, right? Like that's kind of how it works. But yeah, Quinn. Now, obviously, Holly's been moving around the darker underbelly of things. Quinn, a lot of those contacts are yours as well.
Yes.
It's up to you, obviously, what you wish to do on your break. But of course, you'd be aware that Holly is doing these things.
Yes. Yes, my friend Brigitte, who runs a bakery, says she can't turn around without that fairy coming back up and seeking more donuts or something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to Aya Janasi, who plays the role of Quinn, our investigator woman. Tell us what's Quinn doing for these 3 days.
Well, she, as an investigator, she's got her office, her apartment. I'm going to write up my case report on Thousand Bones and do some filing, dusting since I haven't been home for a while, pick up my stuff from the laundress, continue reading the books from the lending library on plagues and pandemics and manufactured illness, to pull on that thread that we sort of uncovered with Lamb's son, testing out his various plagues and diseases, and maybe pop around to the fencing academy. I don't know if anyone answers the door. Probably not.
No, you would definitely, if that is how you spend your time, you would definitely have gotten to know Venkalo, the swords master, reasonably well. He does look forward to company. He doesn't often receive it. You find out that a great number of soldiers were trained by the academy, but when the Queen's mandate began to take over, there's been less and less call for his skills. He even happily shows you a few things here and there, and if your character is not proficient with them, you will become proficient with swords over the course of the time that you spend with him training.
Splendid.
All right. Dante, played by the wonderful Rykon. Tell us what our Kitsune druid decides to do for their 3 days of rest.
Probably would be still doing his hunting that he normally would be doing, but also going around helping out in general, since still to calm down some stuff from recent events.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. I'd say during this period of time, while Dante is, of course, leaving the city limits and going to hunt, you actually are finding it is becoming more and more difficult to return to the city. Every time you leave over that course of the 3 days, it goes from you being able to walk in and out past the usual guards to eventually you being able to walk out, and then when you walk in, you have to be searched every time. To when you have to walk back in, you need to present proof of your association with people in the city. It is becoming harder and harder. You actually genuinely worry if the city might go into a lockdown of some kind, just under the pretense of people, spies and people from other nations, kind of causing trouble. You can see that the guards are slowly being replaced with like Hell Knights and other agents more highly trained than the usual city guard. We also have Laura Bones, but we will introduce Agnes in today's session. Unfortunately, Chad, who plays the role of Fido, isn't here, so Chad is currently enjoying his own... Fido is enjoying their own spa day, getting their android joint oiled up and getting a good massage somewhere in town. But with that, let's dive straight in to today's session. Three days have passed in Korvosa. People have begun to slowly settle back in to a new normal. The king of the city is dead. Their assassin sequestered away, somewhere hidden, maybe in the city, maybe not, by a hero once beloved by the city itself, a mysterious figure known as Blackjack. Our heroes managed to get both Trinia Sabor and the other mysterious woman, both of which were accused falsely of killing the king, out of the city and to safety. Their gratitude left behind as they leave and head out into the countryside. The 3 days pass almost too slow. The city itself is abuzz with what the queen intends to do. Words of large knights in spiked and heavy armor who are traveling around between the streets, being seen almost more than the Korvosan guard. Rumors of the skies being unusually empty. The hippogriff riding cavalry of the Sable Company Marines seem to be becoming more and more infrequent. And our heroes are managing to get some well-deserved rest in Zalara's house. When suddenly, there is a knock upon the door.
Anyone expecting any company?
Holly's upstairs in her room taking a bath.
No.
All right. Patrick will make sure he grabs one of his smaller guns, concealable pistol, stuff it in his pocket, and go answer the door.
Opening the door. Laura, could you describe your character, please?
So on the doorstep is standing a plumpish, middle-aged woman, with a little bit of grey in her hair, but still, youthful at the same time. She's dressed in kind of just simple, commoner's garb, typical in the city, in bright colours. Little scarf tied around her neck. And she's holding a pie in her hands. She's going, "Oh, hello, dearie. I'm Agnes, and, well, my friend used to live here."
Oh.
Are you friends with Zalara?
"Yes, rest her soul."
Okay. Well, that gets one awkward conversation out of the way.
Not half as awkward as the one I had with her, but that's beside the point. Here. She hands you the pie.
Patrick is not a man who's going to refuse a pie that is given to him. I mean, it's a pie, right? Thanks.
Holly's gonna hear the conversation and sort of recognize the voice and wrap up in a towel that's a normal sized towel that's basically gonna cover her from neck all the way down that she's tripping on it, and come down and, "Oh, Agnes, hi, it's me. Do you remember me? I remember you."
"Oh, you get about. What are you doing here?
Oh, these are my
You're gonna-
friends.
Oh, you're not gonna set anything on fire, are you?"
No, we've been staying here because Zalara invited us. I'm so happy to see you. And she runs over and like hugs Agnes with one arm and like uses the other arm to keep the towel up.
"Oh, right." She'll kind of just pat you on the head.
Yeah, it's like meanwhile Patrick is holding a pie. Do you want to come in and sit down and not be accosted by a dripping wet naked fairy?
"Oh, aye, that would be grand. Thank you."
Okay,
I'm
I'll get
Agnes.
this now. Holly runs back upstairs.
I will. What kind of pie is it, by the way? Just sniff it. How's it smell?
It'll be a fruit pie. I guess whatever fruit is common within these parts. Like within England, it would be an apple pie. I don't know what would be a
Korvosa
common fruit of the, yeah.
All right, well, the particular pie that you have been provided is a blueberry pie.
Smells good. Appreciate the baked goods. I'll go bring that into the kitchen and put it in wherever pies go. Pie shelf, pie counter, whatever we got. I don't know how much.
The pie cupboard.
The pie cupboard.
The pantry.
No actual pie cupboard.
No.
I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that you are here. It was after our last encounter that prompted me to come by here again. And the place feels a lot. And she looks up and gets kind of a bit distracted look on her face and then goes, "Freer. Yes, that's probably the best way to describe it."
Okay, so Patrick will sit down. So Zalara told you to come here?
Not as such, no.
Zalara
Did you get a
vaguely
card?
hinted that you should come here.
Yes, that's
Okay.
probably.
All right.
Plus, coming past, I could tell straight away that, well, whatever had been troubling her soul had, well, wasn't anymore.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah, we, I suppose, helped her out with that.
Well, thank you very much.
Vengeance does the soul good. Is there any? I don't know. It's a little weird. You know, we're living in a dead woman's house that her kind of
Well, I
ghost
mean, she's
invited
not
us
using
to.
it anymore, is she?
Yeah, no, but you know, now we're meeting some of her friends, so not a common experience in my prior circles. I suppose I should start getting used to this sort of thing.
Well, to be fair, it's pretty special circumstances. I don't think like all of our friends are going to be just popping around to visit a dead person.
That's good. That's good. That's probably for the best. So you said she kind of vaguely hinted that you should come here. Was there anything more specific? I mean, I appreciate you bringing us a pie, but I got to guess that there's probably more than just baked good delivery behind this.
Well, mostly no. I did just come to, well, pay my respects, as it were, to her and the people that had helped her. I wasn't expecting to run into, well, you again, she says, nodding at Holly. We had a wee adventure the other day. Yes, adventure. That's the way to describe it.
Is that why you came home charred and mostly still on fire?
We're
I was
not
going to ask about that.
But
Okay.
where did you put the pie? I want a piece of pie.
I'll take the pie back out of the pantry.
Holly's gonna cut herself a piece of pie and sit down and start eating the pie.
So, I take it you do seem to just run around the city helping? She says a very definite question mark at the end of.
Yes, we're the good guys. What we do is help people.
What we attempt to do is do some good jobs that we've been contracted for by the city and by those in the guard who we've deemed trustworthy, and other things that were certainly the right thing to do. Yeah.
Well, it's good, because something really needs to be done. I mean, the whole assassination thing was terrible. Good king like that. And well, the experience the other day with those Hell Knight things, well, something needs done about those, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm not particularly fond of their ever-increasing presence here either.
It's like they just make the law for themselves. You can't just go around making the law for yourselves. That's not how it works.
You know, and it's interesting because people seem to let them just do that. Yeah,
people will, if someone's taking control after a time of unrest, well, it's just what people do.
Yeah, I mean, I have honestly not really any good ideas on how to deal with legions of Hell Knights. I think that might be a little above our pay grade, but
oh yes.
I share your concerns about them. Anyway,
so during this conversation, where exactly is Quinn and Dante?
I'm at the discussion of Hell Knights. I'm in the corner. I'm reading one of my vast medical tomes. I look up with interest and start listening in on the conversation.
Dante?
It is morning, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I'd say it's morning. I'd say it's probably
Okay.
not too early for someone to be knocking on your door with pie, but not so late as to be lunchtime.
Okay. So it probably would be more along the lines of he would just be now returning.
For the purposes of expedience, you will already be here, so you would have likely just returned.
Okay. In that case, he would most likely be listening, but he'd be like sitting down, like probably near where the window is.
Yeah, you would also recognize this woman from your encounter previously.
Yep.
She'll just nodded at you and go, "Oh, it's a quiet one." Still not saying much, I see. Right. And she turns back to Padraig.
So, besides bringing pie and paying respects and a vague premonition, you seem to have already been introduced with some of the residents. Is there anything that we can help you with?
Well, I suppose. I mean, Zalara was a little vague. Yes, vague. On the details, I mean, if you wouldn't mind, just filling me in on what happened, that it's not too much of an imposition.
Well, quick recap of our encounter with her. We had all had unpleasant, to varying degree, experiences with a right bastard named Gadrin Lamb.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Zalara summoned us and mentioned that he had killed her son, and she wanted some assistance in
bastard.
paying him back. Yeah. We freed his kidnapped children who he'd pressed into a life of thievery. Sent
This
them
gets worse.
to a good place. Took care of his operation. Wound up taking him down. And someone correct me if I'm fuzzy on the details, but it turns out it was not Zalara's son that was killed by him, but Zalara because we found her head in a box.
Well, no, she also was killed by him.
Oh,
but
also,
her son too.
Right.
Both of them.
And
I'm sorry for that's a rather grisly way to share that though with her friend.
Oh, that's fine.
I mean, that's the quick version.
I suppose that's sufficient.
And what was his name again? The bad dude that did the killing?
Gadrin Lamb.
Gadrin. And
his son is still...
I don't suppose you set him on fire.
No, I don't think there was any... No, what a curious question.
No, well, it's just somebody I would have appreciated having been set on fire, I think.
We shot him, stabbed him, and then he got eaten by his alligator.
Well, that's a rather fitting end.
Then his son reanimated the corpse of both him and his alligator by combining them, and we killed him again. I don't think we left him on fire. He was kind of pulverized by a construct with a bomb inside him. That's an entirely another interesting story.
And all of this weirdly makes me want pie. Excuse me.
Pie is really good. I'm gonna get another piece.
Hey, save some for me. I haven't had any yet.
Well, it certainly seems like you've been doing a lot of, well, good it seems around the city. Sorting things
Hopefully.
out and what are you all up to now then?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, we don't have any particular job going on right now.
Oh,
If
No,
you have
but-
work for us.
I feel there will be plenty to do on the horizon. Can't you feel the mood in the city?
oh
The
dear.
Hell Night
Yes.
and the increased presence, the martial atmosphere. It's like a noose that's tightening, ever encroaching. People are tense.
Every time I walk outside, I get the hairs on my arms just stand right up on end. Yes, I can definitely feel the city.
Laura, you have a message in Discord.
Oh,
I'll just sit patiently while Agnes checks her phone.
she usually just switches off and just gets a big look on her face.
Eyes go rolling back. Table starts to shake.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the other part of my day was, there's a lot of, I had another friend and she's fallen sick. And I was going to go around and, visit and see how she was doing. A place called Trails End.
Trails End.
Quinn and Holly, the two of you know Trails End as kind of almost like a slum kind of area. You do know that during your explorations, I guess, you spent a lot of time there. Holly, you especially, because there are a lot of kids in that area who are super taken aback by having a fairy visit them.
Is there a lot of, was that one of the places that got hit hard by the Hell Knight taking out the homeless? Is it hard to get into and out of with the Hell Knights?
No. This is much further north. So if we confer to our maps over here, you were having some issues in East Shore, which is over here. So for those of you who don't know about this little side mission, we did a kind of a behind the scenes kind of get to know you game with Laura, Malakisa, and Rykon. They were in East Shore and kind of saw the Hell Knights kind of making themselves comfortable. And they were removing the homeless from that area. As you recall, High Bridge was an important part of that investigation. Trails End is outside the city, but still within the city's limits. Just here across the way, much further to the north.
Okay.
Trails End, you say? Would you like some company?
Oh, she looks at the Holly. Okay.
It doesn't have to be her.
Very helpful. And if your friend is sick, I think we might be able to help.
She's actually very, very useful. And in the very worst case scenarios, we could just feed her to the enemy as a snack. And it so far has not harmed her very much at all.
I would like to not get eaten.
Okay, this time we will try.
You've technically never been actually eaten. You've just mostly been gnawed upon and occasionally swallowed.
I would like to not have that happen anymore.
Well, you certainly seem to be a resilient wee thing. That's for sure.
She is that. She really is.
Well, Agnes, will you accept the company of this this somewhat unusual group of comrades?
Well, I
I
mean,
definitely
only
understatement on unusual.
only I'd say that I wouldn't like to impose, and it's not a problem. But well, the city is a lot more dangerous now than it used to be, and well, after the recent day's events, I suppose a little bit of company wouldn't hurt at all.
Sure. Do you know? You said your friend is taken ill.
Yes,
Do you
Teresa,
know
that's
the
her
nature?
daughter Brienne. She's taken bedridden. I'm not entirely sure of all the details. That's why I was going along to see if I could lend some assistance, as it were.
Right. I've got a couple of potions that maybe could help. Depends on
Oh.
what it is, but I'll make sure I bring them along.
Oh, that would be grand.
Patrick will make sure he's packed his anti-plague potions. I got 4 of those, so.
All right.
I am going to load anything that could possibly be considered illegal into Penny's packs, and so on me are just my weapons and very innocuous items. Poisons, thief tools, all of that, not on my person.
Very well. All right. With that and with yourselves armed and equipped, you begin to follow Agnes out of the town. Dante, you have been the usual level of quiet. Is there anything you want to do before you head out? Or if you're heading out?
Yeah, he would be going with. I'm just currently looking through my list since I am allowed to prepare spells.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking currently at what spells to change out if I'm wanting to change out.
Sure, not a problem. So Dante is traveling, kind of seeming to be lost in thought as he's kind of contemplating his communes with nature for the purposes of this journey. The travel is not very far, though it may seem so on foot. You make your way through the city streets past the west docks of Midland. As I mentioned, you can see that a lot of people have now gotten back to work. Most are starting to try and repair the damages that have been done through the riots. Making your way into Five Corners and eventually Northgate, you can see the effects of very, very stringent, watchful eyes of the Hell Knights and the guards that seem to have increased in the area. As you cross over Northbridge, as Dante may have mentioned, I mean, would you have mentioned the increased security on the bridges?
Yeah, he would have.
Yeah.
Like within at least the last few days, because it's like he's been going in and out.
Yeah. You guys are all checked at the gate, which again you don't have anything that they're looking for, so they're not gonna stop you for anything. But there's 2 checkpoints. Even crossing the bridge, you get checked once before and once after, as if for some reason you may have picked up something on the bridge. But
Agnes is just like, you just be careful where you put in your hands, young man.
Nice.
The soldier, the soldier. Let's see. Actually, let's see. What is the soldier? 1, he's a guard. 2, he is a marine. 3, he is a Hell Knight. That is a Hell Knight.
Hell Knights. Oh
yeah.
no!
Yeah, that is a Hell Knight. But that's okay. The Hell Knight just simply does not pay attention to you. He continues to stringently do a thorough search. Again, he's not doing so much as a pat down as he is, kind of just making sure that you're not smuggling anything. So he'll run his hands over your hips, up and down your outer thigh, and then mostly looking for like straps of like hidden things or smuggling things, and then check your bags. As you make your way to the other side of Northbridge, heading to the north, you find yourself in Trail's End. Trail's End is a small community northeast of Korvosa, made up primarily of Varisians, very similar to the people that Agnes spends a lot of time with. They are travelers, they're merchants, they're songwriters, they're fortune tellers. These are the people who have been in Varisia the longest, next to the Shoanti tribes and the settlers of the Aslant who first arrived on these shores. Many of their descendants have made themselves among the Varisians, And yeah, they have made a small little community here. You can even see that there are a few Shawanti and a couple of socially disaffected Shalaxians who are living among these places. But the entire area of the city here is very, very poor and reputably dangerous. You are probably the most well-armed individuals in this region, and many seem to kind of watch you with... You can't really tell. Some of them are like, wondering if they can weigh up whether or not a conflict may provide them with a little bit of cash, or maybe it might be too much that they won't be able to come away unscathed, and you guys aren't worth the trouble. As you make your way towards this very, very small building, you see that there is a woman with 2 children running around a clothesline. Agnes, you recognize this as Tace, and the 2 children are Carlo and Rello. You've met them once before, maybe the children, that is. You have met Tace multiple times.
When she gets within, voice distance kind of thing, or even as soon as she's noticed, she'll wave and go, "Hello! Good morning!"
Oh, Agnes! Oh, my dear, it's so good to see you!
Hello! She'll go over and give her a hug and a kiss on both cheeks.
This is Tace. There we go. She shares the sentiment, holding onto your shoulders and kissing you on both cheeks. She says, "Let me get a good look at you. Oh, you look wonderful, my dear, and it's been so long."
No, it's been busy. You know how it is.
You notice that she is quite skinny and pale, likely not having eaten very much. The children aren't quite as put upon as you can see Tace is, but she still has a very warm and kind smile. You see that that the pile of laundry that she's working on seems to be much larger than her family would imply. You can kind of probably guess from this, for the rest of everyone, that she is the kind of designated washerwoman for the community, and people tend to provide their laundry, offer a little bit of money, and that's about it. She says, "Who are your friends?"
This is, and she'll introduce them all by name.
She'll
the ones that she's heard.
You presume that you'll have exchanged pleasantries of names upon the way. Anyone who doesn't wish to?
No, Holly's gonna run over and play with the kids and introduce them to Penny.
Penny will run over and bark very excitedly. The kids will definitely be playing. Tace sort of looks over and tells them not to be so rough, because they are quite young and very excitable. Yeah. Oh, and she'll bow to you as you are introduced.
So, I heard about Brienne. How's she doing?
Poor dear, she's not doing well. We don't know what this illness is and why it's claimed only her. We worry so. The doctors in town, they don't seem to understand what's happening, and well, we haven't been able to afford for a cleric. Though a friend has stopped by. Ishani. Now, you guys know Ishani. He is this individual. A cleric who had helped you previously with a few sick and injured individuals. He is an Abadaran cleric.
Yep. Yeah, we know Ashari. He's a good guy.
Yes, no, he's a good friend to many of the people here.
I just came to It would be all right if I saw her. You know, sometimes not all illnesses are, well, of the body, as it were. The doctors, well, I usually find they're mostly concerned with just the body.
Oh, well, if you could see to her getting better, then I would do anything.
I could try, at least.
She grabs hold of your hands, clutches them both tightly, and sort of smiles. It looks as though she's almost about to cry, but she like kind of places her hands onto, like, places her forehead onto your hands, and after a few moments will look up at you, smile softly, and walk you into the house. She explains that the doctor she kind of explains that the doctors mentioned that you should keep your distance. That without knowing what the illness is, it could be quite contagious. And you enter the room. Okay, here we go. Inside the room, you see a small girl wrapped in a blanket. She seems to be shivering. Her skin seems to be quite pale. Her eyes seem to be baggy, almost as if the like she hadn't been sleeping in quite some time. You also notice that her, despite her pale complexion, her face in particular seems to be quite flush. Her eyes and her forehead in particular seem to kind of take on a reddish hue.
Agnes is going to kind of, she's going to start with keeping her distance, but she's going to start uttering the words of a spell. Is it a spell? No, it's not. It's just a trait. It's not a trait at all. Yeah, she's just going to like stand and stare. Sorry, it's a new character, right? Here's a break. Stare at Brienne. And she's using aura sight, which is basically you can read the natural auras of other living creatures. You must focus on a single target without blinking for a minute. You get target's current apparent attitude towards you, which is different. Target's current apparent emotional state, and a general assessment of the target's physical health, such as what conditions or afflictions it has. You might need to succeed in an occultism check against the affliction or conditions DC to detect the presence of a specifically hidden or subtle condition or affliction. So she's just determining if this is like a physical kind of affliction at first. So she'll just kind of like stare non-blinking at Brienne in the bed for a little bit, just tuning out everything around her.
All right. As you walk in and begin to focus your energies, you determine there is a physical illness that seems to lay over the child. However, it seems to have no name.
Well, there's definitely something there. Physically, that is. But it's not anything I could put a name to.
The little girl basically she's short of breath and she starts to cough. There's violent fits of hacking and coughing which jerk her entire frame, small as it is, lifting her well off the pillows. This happens for a few moments, but the spasms eventually pass after a short time, dropping her back to the bed, seeming to have done little to ease her breathing.
Agnes will, the little cloth thing that she's got wrapped around her neck, she'll kind of like pull it up over her nose, like to make a little impromptu kind of like mask thing. And she will go over to Brienne and like touch her forehead, see how hot she is.
before
Oh.
before Agnes that Padrig will pull out of his satchel. I've got some of these. They're just general anti-plague potions. I mean, if you're not sure what it is, I don't know if it will help at all, but it should at the very least not hurt if you want to see if she can take one of these.
Tace sort of seems hesitant at the moment. And Quinn, I'm going to say that you are the first to figure this out. There is a grift that is used very commonly in, kind of the kind of slummish areas where someone provides medicine and then tells you the price of the medicine afterwards and then puts people in debt. You know what I mean? Like, you're fairly confident that Tace, her mother, would likely see this as maybe a scam if presented in such a way. Most people around here don't just give away. How much did the anti-plague cost you?
Well, I can make them, but as far as
no, that's okay.
So a quarter of the price, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. As far as how much they cost, I forget.
That's okay. I've got it right here. Anti-plague is a grand total of. Well, is it a lesser, moderate, greater?
It's a lesser. Yeah.
So that's 3 gold pieces, which translates into our world as 3 silver pieces.
Yep.
I'll look at Tace and sort of nod reassuringly and saying he's offering it freely as a gift.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We came here to help. I brought these along specifically because Agnes said someone was sick. I make these mostly for myself, so this isn't going to cost me anything to replace. If it helps, then it helps, and that's all I'm looking for.
I don't know what to say. I hardly know you, but
Just say thank you, dear.
She
Think of it.
She nods at Agnes. Like again, it's not. She's not being mean about this. Like just.
Oh no. That's why Agnes says it softly. Just a soft. Just say thank you.
She holds on to Agnes, like relying on her and sort of gaining comfort and strength from Agnes. She nods and says thank you. Please.
Right, well, let's see if it works then.
All right. So
if it does, that's great.
All right. So the way that
if not, we've ruled out a thing.
You did. All right. So a anti-plague lesser can fortify the defenses of a body against diseases. Upon drinking anti-plague, you gain an item bonus based on the item that you're using to fortitude saving throws against a disease for 24 hours. This applies to your daily save on the progression. Now, I'm going to say that by random happenstance, right now, or roughly right now, is where this fort save is going to be made. So, Brienne.
Makes sense.
The GM. Been reading up about it today. The GM is in control of coincidence within the game.
I know, it's crazy. Let me see. Do I have stats? No, I don't. Okay, that's fine. I know what a con is. I just don't know if they had things for me to roll. All right. Well, her constitution is 5. So that is 8, 6. So it's a -2 with a plus
Jeez.
2. So she's on a straight roll thanks to your item. All right. You place the potion to her lips and pour the bitter solution into her mouth. A few moments pass, and it's hard to tell if it's done anything.
Well, it was a long shot anyway. They work better if we know what it is, and it's something that I know that this will help with. Still, I mean, I brought a couple. I'm happy to leave them here with you. Again, I'm not looking for any payment or anything. Honestly, I'd rather she get better if she has some sort of unknown, possibly communicable disease. Um, you're welcome. I'll leave the other 3 that I have, just in case. And if whoever is taking care of her most closely, maybe give them, if it's not you, give them one of these 2, just to make sure it doesn't, spread.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Very well.
Agnes has got like she brought her like healing kind of tools with her. Is there any kind of like checks or anything that Agnes could do to try and determine, if not necessarily what it is, like what type of like sickness is it? Like, is it a poison or a?
Well, Odd Bandicoot has just redeemed a
Mm.
insight bonus. Also, I did fail to mention that Calindria also gave Agnes a hero point and a nat 20.
Hey, thank you.
I did forget. That was sorry. I was so enraptured.
Miss
I
your
was like,
face.
I'll mention it in a minute. But yeah, so thank you, Callie. Big love, big appreciation. With the insight bonus, you know that it is likely a disease. Although, again, you've never seen or heard of this disease previously.
It is a disease, indeed. How long has she been like this?
A few days now.
And other people have had contact with her, but nobody else seems to have any symptoms.
Well, I don't know. I've not suffered any ill effects myself, and that's all I can really speak for.
And do you know if she's been anywhere, well, different? Perhaps, I don't know, run up somewhere to explore she shouldn't, or how children are sometimes.
Of course, no. I'm afraid she hasn't been anywhere unusual or nowhere different anyway.
Anywhere that the rest of you have not. Does she attend classes separately, or?
She attends classes at the community school, but
so do the others.
Yes, so do the others.
She come into possession of any, cursed artifacts or
Agnes is going to cast.
Seen visiting strange idols in the night.
Agnes is going to cast detect magic as well to see if there's any kind of. Oh, sorry, you could do that. Go ahead if you want.
I can only do it once a day. So.
I mean, once a day, it's better than none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. With detect magic, there is no magical effect that seems to be on the this little girl.
And no magic just spikes in the world. Probably upon everybody in the party, there's probably magic spiking.
Yeah, little pings on people, but
yeah.
I'm going to be taking notes of what I observe her symptoms to be. Do I notice anything odd?
Odd? The kind of redness to the face is very unique. I wouldn't say it's odd. You know what I mean? More
like just a fever glow.
Yeah, exactly. The obviously respiratory issues, very, very strong respiratory issues. And it is degenerative.
Sleep deprivation.
So it is super degenerative.
Well, there's something I could attempt, but I don't know if I'm strong enough to remove it completely.
Are you going to use those gloves?
No.
Oh, good.
Do you guys still not know that those gloves are cursed?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what? The healer gloves?
Yeah.
Yes, they're cursed.
They're healer gloves. We don't know that.
Yeah, your characters believe that you have a pair of gloves that are able to remove diseases, which I don't know if you use it on Holly stuff, but
No, I just have I
He
just
he
have
did, and he's
normal
should-
healer's
he-
gloves.
and he should be sick.
oh, yeah,
I just have normal healer's gloves.
Yeah, no, he made the recovery roll after that, so he was fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
That sounds about right. You made he because no. You bought the healer's gloves from the from that merchant that had like all the
Purveyor of cursed items.
Yeah, and it was well. I mean, he didn't know it was cursed because he hadn't used it, but.
Right.
They are cursed gloves, which when you use them will remove the disease from the person you touch it, but you will basically have to make a save against that same disease.
I mean, they're not
The reason
exactly.
why the reason why I'm confused is because all it does is restore hit points once a day.
Maybe those are different healer gloves. So who's got the remove disease gloves?
I
mean,
thought they were with Dante.
There
I thought they were
is.
with
Yes,
Dante as
Dante
well.
has those because Dante removed my disease in
Yeah,
the dungeon. and then
Yeah, I
took
think
the-
Dante maybe you put the item like from the fantasy
Inventory.
grounds into it.
Yeah.
But these are different types of healer gloves that you were given.
So you could make the little girl well.
Well, the reason why I'm confused because I have the remove disease spell.
Yeah,
Ah.
but
It's
you
just gonna take 10
were,
minutes.
Yeah, you were given the gloves though.
Well, I mean, Dante, if it's going to take a little bit of time, I don't think we're in short supply of that.
She starts to cough again quite violently, spitting up blood.
I would surmise like a winter clothing would have something for like a face wrap to like keep the face warm.
She's currently covered in a whole
No,
variety of different blankets.
I'm
He's
talking
covering
about
his face.
Oh, your
my
oh
face.
right, yeah. It's like a makeshift mask, as it were.
Yeah.
Yep, sure, not a problem.
So then he will come over to attempt to use the remove disease spell.
All right. Heading over to the tiny form. You cast remove disease. As you do so, the energies of magic flow from your body and into her tiny frame. And that's it. It's just simply removed. You see the redness sort of become less vibrant. It's still there, as some of the flesh has still been damaged, but it does not seem to. She seems to be breathing a little easier now. With time, she should be able to recuperate.
Oh, well, there we go. Well, that definitely did work.
All right.
Well
Good luck with that,
done.
Dante.
Tace runs over to you and grabs you by the hand and thanks you profusely. She also does the thing where she places her forehead in your hand, continuing to thank you. To the Vishnani, this is kind of like a sign of respect, like this is just kind of like like the way you would treat like an elder or someone wise. She just starts to do that. Tears run down her eyes. She says she can't afford to pay, and she's so sorry. She were that she could. She really wishes she could. The services, by the way, of a removed disease is 15 gold pieces.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense. It's a third level spell.
Yeah, it's quite expensive. She said that her friend Ishani, the cleric, was unable to perform such magics without taking payment because, of course, he worships the god of commerce,
Yep.
and he feels bad that he wasn't able to help. But the fact that you were able to do so, she is just beside herself with joy.
You're quite welcome.
You know
And
what?
no need
you
to
get,
worry
you
about
get hero
payment.
music. There we go.
No, it's tough to take care of a sick kid. I mean, if it would not be rude, I can probably help you a little bit getting through that pile of laundry you got out there.
She says, I couldn't impose any further than I already have.
No, really. And I'll on one of them cast prestidigitation and clean it. Since I can use that to clean clothes.
Yep.
All right.
It's not a problem. It'll take me just a couple of minutes.
All right.
Within one bulk, so I believe you could actually technically do more than one piece of clothing.
You'll have to cast
Yeah.
it. You'll have to cast it on
There.
on each of them. But again,
Yeah, no,
it'll take you a little bit of time. And keeping in mind, it's the laundry of the community, as it were. So, with a little bit of time, she's just super happy, and she asks Agnes if there's any way that she could help your friends, and show her appreciation. To only ask.
Well, I mean, I don't really think there's anything that they need in particular right now, to be fair.
Tell Agnes to make another pie.
Agnes, would you make another pie and provide it as?
I can make a pie. In fact, I'll probably stop round again when I can tomorrow or later this evening with some.
No, I wasn't completely serious about that, but I'll take another pie. That was a good pie.
A nice hot cooked meal. The child's going to need some good food in her. She's going to get well and
Yeah,
recover
no,
properly.
probably better to give food to these sick kids.
All right.
Have to help each other in these times. Otherwise, what's the point? Nobody else is going to.
That I can agree with.
Indeed. And as you continue to do the laundry, bake a pie, and wave goodbye at the end of the day, you feel that sense of achievement. Even now, Brienne is able to sit up and eat some food. She's already looking a lot better than before. As they wave at you and bid you farewell, you make your way back with a sense of achievement and having done something good for the community. The children wave at Holly and Penny as they leave as well. And Agnes, you have some of the supplies, but you don't have an oven. There is an oven at Zalara's, if you want to bake another pie.
Yeah, I'll bake a pie there. Agnes will, maybe it's the next day or whatever the campaign allows. She's going to try and go back and just take some, a bowl of stew or just something hearty, basically, as well, when she can.
Nice.
Back out to the house.
Dante would be following you when you go back, just to make sure no one else is somehow contracted a new one of the disease.
Well, as we get into that, I need the following people to make me saving throws. Holly, Agnes, Dante, and Patrick. Actually, not Patrick. Sorry.
Correct?
No, sorry, not Patrick. Not Patrick. So Dante, Holly, and Agnes.
Fortitude, correct?
Yes, a fortitude saving throw. If you would please.
Oof.
Ooh, very nice. Ooh, I like that, Holly. I do have 5 jinx points there.
Just keep rolling the same number.
You're muted,
I'll
Holly.
be good. Okay, sorry. I need to just super quickly convert the DCs to Pathfinder 2nd.
Oh, 14. Well,
There we go.
can I re-roll that with my little red hero point?
Yeah, you can re-roll it. Absolutely. All right. What level are you guys?
5.
5.
5. All right.
I got exactly the same thing.
Wow.
That hurt.
How is that even possible?
That's not ideal.
The dice guys
say
want
no.
pie.
I say no to double 5.
All right, divine
because-
intervention
Better
from
than double
Rykon.
ones.
You're not wrong.
What does divine intervention
does-
do?
You get a reroll.
Oh, thank you. Let's try again.
Just gonna mention that you have a nat 20.
It does have a nat 20.
There we go.
Yes.
That's better.
Maybe.
All right. So that's that. Okay, cool. I've got the DC. Now let's see what you guys got.
Do my pie.
27, 22, and 29. You guys are all fine. And Dante, as you go to inspect everyone, it seems as though they are in good health.
In rude good health.
Yes, in rude good health. All right. However, enjoying the pie that night is not but the herald of something just on the horizon. The sounds of bells can be heard in the streets. Criers move and begin to sound the sounds of an alert. Something's wrong. A yellow smoke plumes from the top of the castle. Those of you who have been here long enough know what the yellow smoke entails. It is a sign of foreboding. It is a sign of danger. It is a sign of plague. Outside, you see a weary drudge of individuals who seem to be moving to try and, in sort of like a quasi-panic, move through the city streets in order to get to their local healers to find out if they had contracted said plague. It's not quite like the riots on the first night where people are fighting and pushing and stuff like that. It looks like people are scared. Not scared of the police, not scared of an attack. They're scared of each other. You can see that families huddle together closely and make their way to their local churches nearby. You can hear the sounds of people who are kind of getting angry at those who aren't really being very, I guess, clean. Homeless people, for example, are being kind of kicked aside or even pushed by like canes and rods if they come too close, or even try to get in line to go and see these priests. People saying, "Get back, you filthy cur!" It's like you've already got 1,000,001 diseases. We don't need you spreading your plague. The downtrodden, finding it more and more difficult to seek help, instead turn to taking refuge. As you can see the city sort of unfolding in such a manner, what would you like to do about it, if anything? You could stay inside. You could go out and see what's up, but it is ultimately up to you.
Oh dear, I need to check on Nadia.
I think you're muted, Holly.
Well, we can't let you go by yourself. We can walk you back to your house.
Or
Oh,
to
Right,
Nadia.
guys?
Is this This thing is contagious. I mean, this was rather rapid. I don't know if I wish to.
We just need to put Dante in some sort of safe bubble so that he doesn't catch anything and he can take care of the rest of us.
Yep.
Good call.
He could be the kitsune in a bubble.
Bubble
God.
kitsune.
All right. So, any indication from Agnes on Nadia and where you're going and all that?
Yeah, she'll say like if people wish to accompany her, then they may.
Accompany you where?
Nadia, it's like my daughter, so yeah, home.
Which
She'd
is-
obviously.
Oh, see, I thought Nadia was the sick little girl. All right.
Yes.
Sure, no.
I don't know if Laura's trying to be mysterious, and I don't want to ruin it if she is.
Nobody.
But you need to tell them where they're going.
No, like nobody. We just said if you want to go home.
Yeah, no. We'll walk you out.
Okay. You begin to make your way from Zalara's to Old Korvosa, where Agnes's house is among the shingles, which you guys have been to before. As you make your way towards the north, you again are still surrounded by, well, again, not shoulder to shoulder, but like every other street you go to, there are people who are kind of like really scared. Some of them just standing in the streets looking at the smoke. Others kind of realizing they've got, like they're sort of coughing and they're just like, oh, maybe I've got the sickness, and they're heading to the local priest. Now, you can see towering above the surrounding buildings of the area is a particular building, which is very notable to you. It is over here, which I will add a circle at T3. All right, so that building there, which let me just double check. Yes, good.
Military Academy?
No, this is the Temple of Abadar.
Oh, okay.
A towering structure, the Grand Vault of Abadar offers a radiant vision of divine luxury among a sea of mortal troubles. Its gray-veined white marble reflects well, it's about like twilight, so about the dusk sun, and there's little question that this place is a house of God. Yet, for a deity of law, the steep stairs and ramps leading up to the temple to great bronze doors offers a discordant scene in front of you. Dozens of citizens, mostly of the working class, and merchants and the like, seem to have crowded around the entryway as they throng against the entrance, scarcely being held back by a group of golden armored paladins and clerics of Abadar. All seem intent on gaining entry into the temple. The clerics seem to be turning away all newcomers. The reasoning has become all but clear. The pitiful countermeasures that the temple has been offering have now expired. There are no more clerics who are able to cast remove disease. They cannot be helped. The masses and the numbers are far too great. And as the Abdaran paladins and clerics turn away a few of these individuals, you realize something as you look and see that the turned away masses bear the red marks over their eyes, similar to that of Brienne.
I should add, we are probably all suitably masked up at a minimum.
Sure, I will happily say that this is something that, because you guys have used cloth masks before, so you are indeed masked up. But this is what you see as the scene. You continue, well, I mean, it's up to you if you want to continue northwards, because you are currently around around this area. Just going to move the marker here. You're kind of around the center of North Point, and you are currently heading into Old Korvosa. So you've kind of traveled up and around, but the temple is just there. So it's up to you. If you, basically, if you want to go and investigate or help out with the temple, or if you want to continue to Agnes's daughter.
I don't really know what we could possibly do with a overrun temple. That just seems like a scenario where all we can do is exacerbate an already bad situation. Mm-hmm. At least with my speaking skills and my past experience in trying to defuse these sorts of things, would probably wind up with inciting a riot.
or getting another person killed.
Yeah, so getting another person killed, or and then have the entire wrath of Abadar upon us.
We can't have that.
They have paladins, and there's Hell Knights on the streets all over the place anyway, and yeah, fighting sick people on behalf of clerics that are basically shilling people for money seems like a wrong thing to do.
Right.
And it's not as if we can heal them all. We have one person.
Yep. Who's spent for the day.
Yeah,
right.
So I say we continue on.
Let's, kind of maybe navigate the scenic route.
Circumnavigate this whole crowd.
Yeah.
All right.
Stay off the well-trod paths.
Okay, well, you guys all should have access to the city map. You guys are currently, as I mentioned, you're kind of in North Point, right about here. If you guys want, if you right-click on the map and then hit the activate drawing button, you should be able to draw yourself a pathway. Your end goal is here. Yep, there you go. So that's your end location.
All right, so I guess the question is, which ways are going to be less popular?
Agnes, what's the side way, the back roads, the alleys? Is there a path like that to get to your house?
Aye, but
Even
where
if
does
it's
the flocks of people seem to be moving? Besides the ones that are flocked around this building, like as we've been walking, does it seem that people are like moving from direction?
Are they all converging towards the temple, which is
temples,
what I was picturing?
Yeah, temples, healers, a number of different places in general. But the further north you go, the worse it seems to get.
Is that far enough out of the way, or should it be further out of the way?
All right, you guys should all be able to see that one.
That's just a guess on my part. Yeah. That's a suggestion for right now.
So wait, so we had the little girl in Trail's End, and then okay. That's interesting.
Also, I'd like to take a moment to tell everyone that while we are in the middle of a pandemic, of course, the game world, we are, of course, not reflecting or referencing any materials or things or events that seem to be happening in real life at this time.
It is strictly incidental. This was written how many years ago?
It was written years ago. But at the same time, I might throw in the occasional mask-hating Karen, just to kind of have a bit of a laugh.
Right.
Just please acknowledge that if you have been going through COVID's, rougher sides and stuff like that, nothing that is going to happen in this book is a reflection of that. And enjoy the story, enjoy the tale.
Literally just had it last month.
Yeah, it's not fun. Plague is not fun. But hey, neither is getting the shit knocked out of you by a troll. So I mean.
Would it be safe to assume that with the increased crowds the further north that we go, and we visited the sick child and trails and also up here in the north, that at least this particular disease had its ground zero somewhere here?
Well, okay, so let's start with a couple of things. First of all, you will determine that the further north you go, as an insight.
Okay.
And yes, you would probably say that ground zero would likely have been somewhere in the vicinity of, the northern shore, likely old Korvosa. Because basically, from where you started.
Oh, and I bet you, yeah.
So from where you started here, really far south, down in the West Docks. You didn't see anyone with the disease that you would kind of heard of, but people were worried. You kind of got that sense that people who didn't have it and who had kind of cold symptoms were like, "Oh, maybe I should get checked out." Then
Right.
as you started going north, and eventually when you came towards North Point, you started seeing sick people, and that temple, which was where a lot of people were gathering, that's where you got your first confirmed sighting of there is this disease.
Many more cases. Okay.
Yeah, and there is a pandemic. There is a plague. It is
Yep.
it is around. Holly is suggesting a route. Do you guys want to try and take that one?
Yes,
Yep. Okay.
because she figured out the drawing tool.
Yeah.
She gets to choose.
There you go. All right. So,
I was just going with based on our knowledge of the city being residents here, what would be the back ways to go?
Right, or
Dad's all
Agnes,
like,
who lives there.
draw a line on the map. Okay.
Yeah, it keeps it in the alleys pretty much, but we're gonna have to stay in the north no matter what. So even backtracking south, we're still gonna have to go up north regardless. So
Yep. But yes, as you get further north, Quinn, you will be able to ascertain, you won't be able to pinpoint a ground zero, but it's somewhere up here, somewhere in Old Korvosa. And there's, I'd like to think that is Quinn a bit of a conspiracy theorist, especially with everything happening with the Queen?
She doesn't think of herself as one.
Fair. Because I would also like to throw...
We're just after the truth.
Yeah, I'd also... Jesus.
Quinn's middle name is Fox. Last name is Mulder.
So I'd like to throw in. I'd like to also throw in that, it's also kind of strange, isn't it, that the riots were worst in Old Korvosa, then now a pestilence is in Old Korvosa. It seems as though the really expensive places, the castle, all the areas down south.
Oh,
these places.
Don't think I hadn't already drawn that connection. Where, if one were planting the illness, where would the Queen want to strike if she's the one behind it?
Yeah. So that's
not that I'm a conspiracy theorist or anything. Certainly not. I'm just after the truth.
Yeah, of course. Because the truth is out there.
beat me to it.
All right. Heading to the north, as you continue, you will see. As you travel, there are a number of gray maidens, large gray silver armored women who have massive helmets and large red plumes over their helmets. Seem to be trying to coordinate and get people to safety as best they can. You can also see that they're also very angrily snapping at people who are who are basically being intentionally dumb. People who are, kind of clearly sick and refuse to see a doctor are being approached by, several of these armored guards who are basically telling them, no, you need to go to a doctor right now. You can also see that there are people who are, again, trying to riot because that's what they do. And you can see that there are some Hell Knights who catch, you can see this group of teenagers who are, throwing bottles at, the alcohol shop. And they're going in, they're yeah, and then all of a sudden you see there's this Hell Knight, who's just behind them. The Hell Knight just sort of, they sort of drop the alcohol and try to run, but the Hell Knight doesn't care about the property, that's been damaged. You watch as he grabs a bolas and just goes whoa, 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 wham, hits like the three kids, grabs hold of them and like drags them back here, holds them up to the door, grabs like a nail and a hammer and like nails them, not them, but like nails the rope to the door, and then just slaps on this bit of paper saying, "I broke in." And the Hell Knight then just,
crude internet shaming before the internet.
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
I'll be honest, I was figuring they're gonna go all Judge Dredd on him.
Don't worry, I'll tell my friends I saw that.
Yeah, no, look, Hell Knights come in so many flavors. Observing the lore is kind of their thing, but there are also like, the Judge Dredds, but there are also the Batman, whole bunch of them.
Javert.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm getting more and more worried as you go on, and you'll notice more and more she's kind of just becoming distracted. As it seems like she's always like just seeming to just be listening to things and getting a bit sidetracked.
Agnes, how old is your daughter Nadia?
17. So old enough, I mean, after herself.
Yes, she's wise.
Yes, she's got a good head on her shoulders, a lot more, well, determined and focused than I am.
You're plenty focused. I just wanted to make sure that there was no concern that there was a young child amidst all of this. I know you're still concerned for her, and we'll get there.
No, but I mean, one of the things we do is, well, take in children to look after, when the parents are at work and things, and do a few things here and there to make money. So there could well be some children involved, but
I see. Well, let's make haste. And I sort of scurry off down the alley that Holly has drawn a map through. Or this roadway. I don't know. Looks like an alley.
Silence Wizard has captured his voice.
Daga, you muted?
Yeah.
Silence Wizard.
Silence Wizard.
Womp wow.
No.
All right. So, as you make your way towards the accommodation of Agnes's daughter, does Agnes live alone? Does Agnes live with her daughter, or does her daughter live in their own place?
No, we live together. She's got like it's not a posh house or anything, but it's got a few rooms. So she like takes in laundry, looks after people's children at work, takes in the occasional lodger. I have a little backstory I will send you.
Sure. All right. So, thank you, Milsey. All right. So, as you make your way into this area, you eventually come to your house. Can you describe it for us, please? As you
so it's in the old style, and while it's not by any means in a desirable part of town or anything, you can tell that it's attempted to be well looked after. Repairs have been made where repairs need to be made. Sometimes might be slightly crude, but they are made. And the front stoop, the stoop is well swept. So inside it is just like a corridor. There's like a couple of rooms, like a little lounge area and a kitchen to the back and stuff like that, and some stairs leading off to upstairs. Very simply decorated, but there does seem to be like a lot of like just maybe little small trinkets, nothing of any particular worth, but it seems just maybe there might be sentimental items or look a little bit strange dotted about the place.
All right. Entering this home, it is not long before you realize the truth. You hear the sounds of deep coughing coming from the nearby room, and there,
Oh.
rugged up, is your daughter in like this kind of multi-paneled quilted blanket that they currently have wrapped up. She sits up when she sees you come in. She says, "Oh, mother! Oh, I didn't expect you to be here back so soon. I'll put the kettle on."
No, you sit down there, dear.
You can see that she does have red over her eyes.
Yes, sit down. I suppose you've heard of outside. There's a bit of a.
"Oh no, ma, I've been rather unwell. I've kind of just spent me time in bed rugged up. Why, has something gone on?"
Yes, there's a. Well, for want of a better word, you're old enough. You're a big girl. There's a plague in the city, dear.
"Oh no." Oh.
Aye.
She touches her face. You believe by this stage she knows about the redness and stuff, but I just thought it was the flu.
No, it isn't, unfortunately.
She starts to cough again, deeply, and this one is quite prolonged before she's able to catch her breath.
Agnes goes in the kitchen and just starts making a tea. She knows it probably doesn't help, but it helps her because she's concentrating on the task of making tea. Anybody else want tea? While I'm on, she's counting the tea bags and she's talking out the process of making the tea out loud almost. As she does it.
No tea for me, but I'm happy to help. Is there something I can do?
Oh, no, not really yet. It's more of just something for me to do. Like, keep the hands occupied, as it were.
Would you feel better if we stayed here, or should we go back home and maybe have Dante stay here, or what would you like us to do?
I think it's going to get bad all over, and well, I'm worried that eventually they might just shut down access between here and the rest of the city, and I wouldn't want you all to get trapped here, if that makes sense.
Well, it makes sense, but we can't leave your daughter here sick. So do you think you and your daughter could come back to Zalaris with us? We have plenty of room.
I know, but I wouldn't. She looks at her daughter and you can see like the conflict on her face as well. As she's like, I don't really want to spread it around at the same time.
Suddenly at the door you hear a knocking. Nadia! Nadia, you there?
In here.
Oh, Agnes. You see at the door a young man. He's about Nadia's age. You know him as Isaacs. Isaacs is a local butcher. Well, a butcher's apprentice, should we say. He's been a friend of Nadia's for a while. Quite a good friend. He says, I heard what had gone on. I hadn't seen Nadia in a while. Is she okay?
Yes, but I'll keep your distance. She looks at him to see if he's got like the red eyes and looks for symptoms on him.
He does not.
Right, well, you seem to be okay. Nadia, not so much. I mean, she's fine, but...
Aye. Very well.
But
he says...
She has got an illness, so it's best if you don't...
Isaac says, I heard of the illness. Please, look, Nadia's my best friend. I
know, son.
I did. No, I know. I know why she hasn't been around recently. I came by and I could hear her on the other side of the door. If it's not too much of an imposition, Mom, You watch as he reaches into his pouch and pulls out what looks to be a bright glowing potion. It seems to be a bright silver with almost like specks of gold floating into it. It is a remove disease potion. And thank you to Irajanasi for the 10 gifted subs. Mom, I've done some extra shifts at the butchery, and you know, old man Galveston, he said I could get an advance on my pay. There weren't many left, and I managed to get my hands on one. I mean, I'm pretty strong and I'm fit enough to work. I wanted to give this to. And you see he's tripping over his words. It's a 17-year-old kid who's like,
It's so sweet.
And then she just goes, you're a good man. You are. And she kind of emphasizes the man, because he's responsibility, do you know what I mean? And, you know, you're a good man. Go on. Go in there. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you.
He'll sort of take off his hat and sort of nod and come in. He sees the rest of you, and he kind of like, you know, sort of bows and nods at each of you, but quickly makes his way. You can see that as he goes in there, he kind of kneels by her bed and starts to talk to her, and he does so like while smiling. You can almost see like the look of like fear and concern he had at the front door has now faded away, and it's been replaced with almost like you can almost see what their friendship was like. It's not necessarily a romantic relationship, but like, you know, he's trying to make her smile, trying to make her laugh and stuff.
But it's special.
Yeah,
Clearly.
exactly, 100%. It's a very unique relationship for them. Now, as they're talking, eventually, yes, he will give her the potion of remove diseases, but, you know, I'm not going to sit here talking to myself for a while in that conversation. What I'm more interested in is, what's Agnes and our heroes going to do?
Well, I'm fascinated to find out whether or not the potion is any more successful, frankly, this time around than it was before.
Sure. I will say that Quinn's kind of like, I mean, Quinn's, I wouldn't say nosy, but Quinn's very observant by nature. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if someone's having a conversation in the next room, there's always part of you that's paying attention to what's going on.
Right.
And after a while, he will administer, or he will give it to her to administer to herself, and she'll drink it. The coughing doesn't immediately subside, but in that similar way, that brightness to the facial feature, the markings, they slowly fade as well. Like, you know, in the same way that it did when Remove Disease was cast on Brienne earlier that day.
Okay.
So it does look like it has had an impact. And, you know, again, not making a point of it, but just so you know, the anti-plague didn't seem to have much of an impact on it, but the
remove disease does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the anti-plague is really
It's a stopgap. Yeah.
It's more for trying to avoid getting it.
Yeah.
Can you pass me one of those?
Yeah, correct.
I gotta make some more.
Okay, yeah,
Actually,
please
do you want to know what's something really funny, Patrick? About that whole thing, I actually made a character who hates magic healing, because he's convinced, conspiracy not kind of convinced, that there's going to be a magic resistant plague, and then all the clerics are going to be useless, and we wouldn't have developed medicine because we've been relying on clerics. And so Patrick, he's like the anti-plague, like using the anti-plague with Patrick, you know, like there's part of me in that character going,
yeah, Patrick's going to be making as much anti-plague as he can.
Yep. Now, keeping in mind the nature of this adventure, there are several thousands of people here. There is no actual physical way to provide them with cures.
Oh,
No.
wait, of course not. No.
Yeah. Just one.
No, I mean for us.
Oh yeah, for you guys. Yeah. No. Yeah.
That's breakfast drink every day.
Oh yeah. Look. Without any, you know what? I'll actually say it right now.
Best of champions.
I'll actually say it right now. At the beginning of every day, I'm going to give each of you an anti-plague that Patrick will have made by hand every morning. This is minimum. Doesn't matter what's happened. Doesn't matter if we forget and Patrick doesn't actually say, "Oh, I'm going to make 15 anti-plagues."
Here's the real thing. The jar we have that can replicate.
Yeah. So we tweaked how that works, but that's basically going to be
Yeah.
putting that stuff. That's going to be how I'm going to be making that.
Yeah, exactly.
Got
Open it
it.
out.
Yep. But I'm just going to say this right now, just as the current go-to is every day of rest. Anytime you guys do rest, you will wake up with a dose of anti-plague. However, if you have a dose left over from the previous day, that will no longer be in effect.
Right.
Yeah. Just for the purposes of, hand waving it so that we don't have to explain it every time we do it.
It's like
Right.
taking your Zyrtec every morning.
Right.
Keep the allergies away.
Yep. All right. Now, going back to the group. Agnes, Quinn, Holly, Dante, Patrick. The plague is getting worse. You do know a cleric that may be able to give you some insight into what is happening in the form of Ishani. It might be worth speaking to him. Obviously, the city is in need of heroes. It may make Cressida a good point to talk to as well. Seeing as you're in Old Korvosa, obviously you're not even that far away. Talking to Vencalo, I don't know if that'll help, but I know that Quinn's sort of taken a bit of a shine to Vencalo. And I think those are the only kind of places that might be worth exploring.
All right. So let's.
Might be worth trying to figure out if we can find out exactly where it first started.
So that would, I think, mean Cressida and the cleric.
Or,
With the
just
cleric probably knowing more, but being harder to access at this point.
Yeah, we'd have to get through the paladins and the angry mob.
I normally just ask around when I want to know things, but I mean, even if people don't tell you directly the answer, usually you can piece it together on things.
Yeah.
I think something like this might need like asking around. There's no real definitive we'll just
Everybody's gonna have a different viewpoint.
Asking around works better when you ask the people who might have actual knowledge.
Yeah. Everyone's got thoughts on the plague. Some
It
people,
was more just if the majority of people agreed it first happened 4 days ago, or it seemed to have started about 5 days ago. If you know what I mean?
Right,
okay, in
but
which
it's
case-
going to be this.
In which case, a lot of people will say the symptoms started this morning. No one says that they went to bed sick.
That's curious, but it's been a few days since we visited the child at Trails End, has it not, or just a day?
No. That was earlier in the day. So you.
Oh, okay, so it's just today.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Some people said that yesterday I had a cough. A couple things here, but no one had the red mark before today.
So it's fast. Okay.
Almost unnaturally so.
Now, as far as let's presume the cleric, because obviously we've gone a little bit over time here, so we'll get you to the next checkpoint here. Isaac says that he'll check in on Nadia if Agnes wishes to kind of go and speak to the clerics and stuff, because in his mind it's for the purposes of making sure that everyone's healthy and safe and stuff, and he doesn't want you to worry about Nadia while being unattended while she's recovering. Dante, Quinn, Holly, and Padrig, you guys, as I mentioned, know of. Let's see, Ishari, which is this dude here. Do I have a picture of him? I had him a second ago. I don't at the moment, but that's fine. I don't need him. Yes, and you know that he is a cleric of Abadar, the god of commerce, the god of communities and civilization. As you head back towards the large temple, the crowd has grown in size, and the paladins are still there. You do notice, however, that several of the paladins, as you get close, are allowing some people to enter. Getting close enough to hear, the paladins seem to be talking about, seem to be talking to individuals, and anyone who does not seem to have apparent plague are being allowed in for minor business.
Ah,
That's
so,
us.
So we raise our hands.
I
Wow.
have a bank account.
That's right.
That's right. You do have a bank account.
I 100% have a bank account, and we are not here for healing.
Actually, you know what? You did create a bank account, didn't you?
Yes.
No, I'm not
Totally
kidding.
did.
I seriously have a bank
You
account.
did.
Here.
I completely forgot that. They will absolutely let you in. Because I was going to say, they're going to be like, well, what's your business? Curiosity thing, Pierre, what do you got this? And, yeah, no, I don't know about that. And, actually you just hold up your bank card and they're just like, yeah, okay. Damn, I actually...
Is Shani our personal cleric banker?
I honestly...
that was going to come in handy.
I honest to God, never thought that would come in useful, but...
I'm so happy I did that. I am so happy I did that.
And then you complain that you didn't get your money's worth.
Yeah, it's already got your money's worth. Okay, if we were playing with XP, you would have just gotten the group 16k 1.6k XP.
Yeah.
And that's just like, because it's navigating the crowd with no harm, and it's just like, you just walk up, show them your card, and you go in.
Do you hear the celestial choir, Holly?
It's literally for Holly as they walk in. Like, this is what the customers experience going into the Temple of Commerce.
It's worth getting the premium saving account.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And then
Aren't you guys
transactions.
glad I complained to the manager over the bullshit? And
All right. As you do so, you can see that a lot of the clerics are doing their usual job, like talking to a few clients here and there. But it is sparse. There are very, very few clerics here. In fact, most of them are in a meeting. You can kind of hear and see just lots of shouting, lots of "What do we do?" Yada yada yada. Ejected from this meeting is none other than Ishani, who, as he actually maybe is that a picture of him? Yeah, there we go. Boom, there he was. I knew it. So Ishani is basically forced out, and you hear someone yelling at him. All right, make sure you get it done. We do not have time to waste. And the door slams behind him. What am I gonna do? Oh, it's you.
Hey, we're not sick. How you doing?
Well, things have been better. It's a little bit busy at the moment. Are you being
Yes,
seen
dark
to?
days.
Can I be of assistance?
Yeah, we're curious. And we're trying to see if we can ferret out some answers about the plague.
Oh, yes, well.
Is there anything you can share with us that might be insightful?
Well, look, the plague has hit hard and had hit fast. It's unlike anything we've ever seen. It's almost as if it were engineered to be as difficult as possible to heal. It seems to resist most forms of non-magical healing, and even then, magical healing only abates the disease at present. It spreads so fast that those who are cured often contract it due to their weak constitutions. We've been doing our best since this morning. Every single one of my brothers and sisters have expended all their magical resources, and we have little more to offer. And the paladins are doing their best to try and keep the people at ease, but we've barely enough resources to keep ourselves free of the disease. Also, with the way things are currently, Arbiter Zenobia has not been seen since the crisis began. We've been looking for him. He is the high
Arbiter
banker.
Zenobia. Okay.
Yep. He is the high banker, and right now the elder of the clerics are in heated arguments about who is in charge. And I've been presented with a rather difficult task, and to say the least.
What task is that?
Well, seeing as you asked, if our church is unable to stem the tides here in the city, it is believed that the churches need to pool their resources. I believe that I could convince the other churches to lend aid and coordinate. I'm hoping to speak with the representatives of the temples within the city.
That's a very worthy goal.
Well, yes, they're not exactly on the best of terms with each other. Many conflicting arguments and debates, usually circulating around money, which places blame squarely upon the foot of the Bank of Abadar. Mayhaps if I came with people who were not just Abdarans. You see, I need to go and speak with members from the Church of Pharasma.
Are you asking for an escort?
Well, wouldn't be the first time.
Of course, we'll help you.
But full disclosure, I would need to go to a few places. The Temple of Pharasma, the lodge house of the clerics of Aristil, the guard house, to maybe perhaps see if the guard Captain Cressida might be able to assist in helping. And
she's on our list to visit today, so that fits right in with our plans.
He seems to be very cagey about the last thing.
And I'm sorry, I thought you were going to say there was another?
Yes, the third temple. We would need to go and speak with the clerics of Asmodeus. And with those words and the mention of the Asmodean temple, God to the king of devils themselves, that is where we are going to end today's session. As our heroes prepare to escort a rather white-clad cleric, likely into the bowels of the god of death, the god of hunters, and the god of devils. Thank you so much. And hey, Lou Buffett, guys, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. Unfortunately, we've literally only just closed the curtains on today's session. But thank you for joining us. I hope that you guys, Classic Sam is raiding. Oh my God, what's happening? Guys,
that's it, guys. We got to play for another 3 hours.
Another hour.
That's it.
Guys, I'm so sorry. Guys, welcome in. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's enter story mode. Let's enter story mode here. Story mode is where I'm gonna reward my raiders for coming in and enjoying us. Where I will do a recap of today's session, and if you enjoy the recap, please consider giving our group a follow. And then we were going to go and raid. So we will pass on the raid to another awesome content creator and streamer. But just for you guys who raided, allow me to tell you the tale of Curse of the Crimson Throne. Let me get some epic music here going as well. Here we go. This is just for you guys, because we were just signing out. But you know what? Yeah, I could stay a little longer, because I love you guys. You guys are amazing. All right, here we go.
We need epic music for sure, though.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right.
Yeah.
The city of Korvosa, a nation gripped in the despair that came from the loss of their beloved king. Riots, anarchy, and more ensued across the very streets of this once proud nation. Queen Iliosa, the current ruler, clad in black, mourns the loss of her husband, but needs the city to rally together in order to get through these dark times. Our group of heroes, Padrick, the gunslinger, Holly, the fairy rogue, Quinn, the investigator, Fido, the automaton hunter, Dante, the kitsune druid, and new companion, the fortune-telling Agnes, have all worked together tirelessly to try and keep peace here in the city. They have managed to stop a ring of people who had abandoned the gods and started selling human meat on the streets to the poor and desperate. They have managed to go and stop a war that brewed from the hearts of the Shawanti tribesmen after one of their kind was killed in the riots and their body absconded by an evil necromancer. A drug dealer named Gadrian Lamb, having been stopped by our heroes from using children to distribute ill-gotten goods from across the city. This and many more have earned our lovely, lovely characters the title of Heroes of Korvosa. But things are not all as they seem. The Queen has acted strangely, claiming that not one, but 2 individuals may have been responsible for the death of her husband and ready to execute them without a fair trial. Our heroes have begun to question the powers that control the city. Now, a new threat has arisen. Before anyone has been able to turn an eye to the Queen and her debacle, a plague has come to Korvosa. A blood veil lies over the sick and destitute, and our heroes must work together and guide their cleric friend, Ishani, from the Temple of Abadar, god of commerce and coin and civilization, to rally all the clerics of the city, visiting Pharasma, the goddess of death's church, Aristil, god of the hunting lodge, and of course, the temple of the devil god Asmodeus. Together, they may stand a chance against this oncoming plague. Or maybe they won't. To find out more, give our channel a follow. Come see us next week as we continue this epic tale. Thank you so much to our raiders. Thank you to, of course, our lovely players who came and joined us today. Thank you to our sponsors, Hero Forge, Fantasy Grounds, and Sirenscape. Hero Forge for the wonderful artworks that you can see, as well as, of course, the amazing models that you can print on their thing, which you can use for your own games. Thank you to Sirenscape for the beautiful music, and of course Fantasy Grounds for the VTT. Of course, to everyone in our audience who donated today, super big shout out to Twiffer, who just gave out 5 subs, which by the way brings us up to the second lot of 10 for today. So you guys, I'm gonna say, can you guys add to one of your characters? I'm gonna make it Padrick. Add a potion of remove disease as well, so I remember for next week. Thank you to, of course, our raiders, Classic Sam, our dear friend Lou Boffin, as well. You guys are amazing. Are we usually streaming Monday mornings? Yes, we are. We are streaming from 8 Australian Western, 10 Australian Eastern, and we go for 2 hours. We do a 2-hour session here. And thank you, of course, to Ira Janasi for the gifted subs, Millsy for their sub, Laura Bones for their resubscription of 41 months. 41 months for Laura. Love Laura's subs. They always remind me how old I am. Thank you, of course, to Malakisa, Mr. Game and Art, and of course Kalindria for all of the amazing support and donations. It really does go a long way. Another super shout out to Odd Bandicoot for the gifted bits as well as the inspirations for today. I think playing games is fun. I think playing games online means playing with you guys, right? Like, you and the audience are such an important part of this channel, so do give us a follow, because literally everything you guys do is as important as any of my players. So thank you. Thank you. Now, we are going to go and raid. Also, hi, John Man Bear Pig. That is an awesome name. I love that. That's amazing. I'm a big South Park fan. All right. We are going to go and raid. Raiding. This game still isn't on the schedule. It's not. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm terrible with my schedule. I will get better. I promise you I will get better. Because I'm making some time to correct all of my schedule. All right. Let's go and raid that. Oh, man. No. This is straight up. So, we are going to go and raid Dork Tales. Now, Dork Tales are a friend of the channel. They are currently, from what I can tell, doing Extra Life. Now, Extra Life is an amazing charity. It is one of the gaming charities that a lot of the D&D community get behind. It is full of just awesome content creators who are all raising money for an incredible cause. Please go there. Please send all our love. Throw out all of the heart emotes. If you can blind them with emotes when we jump in, I will find that as a personal thank you. And if we can, then that'll be great. Yeah, send them all love, send them all things. And if we donate to the charity stream, always, remember, donate generously, but of course donate wisely. Throw in our read emotes if you like. Until we meet again, as always, from us to you, game hard or die trying. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night.